Hi everyone, it's Liz from Crafting with Nani. How is your Monday going? Mine's going okay, just been out doing stuff. So if you see that red live button, that means we're live. I just jumped on a couple minutes early because I know Sue B jumped off, and so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and jump on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find myself just in case I lose comments. So if you join us, say hi. And guys, I always do like to try and say hi. Sometimes I miss people, and I'm sorry for that. If that happens, it's kind of hard sometimes. I see there's two people that jumped on, and one of them might be me. No. But just notice that my cutter here has a bunch of stuff in it. So I was trying to get it out, but it's not working very well. So what's everybody? Hi, Sue B. I hope you're feeling better. I know that you said you were getting dizzy, so hopefully you're laying down in bed watching. That's no fun being not feeling well. I know I was watching a baby the other day from one of my friends from church, and couldn't figure out why my hip hurts so much, and I'm like, oh, my hip hurts because I was carrying around a baby all day. So, but anyway, sorry I wasn't able to go on Friday. Yeah, she needed an emergency babysitter, so that's what I am. I'm an emergency babysitter. So how is Linda doing? And Penny, how are you? Everybody's mail went out. I went to the post office and shipped everybody's stuff out. So I decided to I did do a little poll on whether to do a ranch journal or an 1800s journal. And I've decided to kind of try and blend the two together a little bit. I saw Susan B. A little bit is what I meant to say. I saw Sue B's name pop by, and then it went a little B. But yeah. So I have an empty little golden book that I'm going to be using as my shell. We're going to decorate it. But I thought I would start. Thank you for kicking out my cow patties. I'm just going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to take a feed bag that I sell, and we're going to take that and we're going to make a journal out of it. So I'm just going to use the little golden book as kind of like chipboard, because I already used the inside of this book for another project that I did. And all I'm doing right here is I want to reinforce the spine, because this golden book's golden seal is so perfect that I want to have that showing if I can. I mean, it's probably not going to show by the time we get it all wrapped and everything. But anyways, I'm going to glue this onto the inside. Hi, Cindy. Thank you for coming in. And I'm just going to do that now. And I just want to make sure that the book is going to be able to fold, and open and close. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, and then I think I'll clamp that down while we start measuring and taping up, or, gluing, all the good stuff. All the good stuff that we do, right? So everything that I'm doing today is going to look like it's all ranch. I don't have any of the 1800 stuff pulled for it yet. But I thought, in the 1800s, they went around in wagons and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, why not add some of that stuff with it? So that's what I'm going to do. Hi, Carol. How are you? Yeah. Oh, you are, Linda? You're also a standby? Yeah. I know. I'm kind of like a way back stand-up babysitter for the kids on the ranch. They have not ever had to really use me yet, because my daughter's always been available to watch the kids, because I'm a great grandma for the kids on the ranch. And my daughter's always there to take over babysitting. So I just put that piece in, and let me put the camera down so everybody can see what we're doing. And so I'm just reinforcing that spine, because I don't want it to bend, you know, kind of deal on right there. And we can sew right through this, the signature that we're gonna try and build. So let me see, I think I have a couple clamps right here. So let me just get a couple clamps out of my bag of tricks. And we'll clamp that real quick, and then we'll get going on. Actually, I probably needed one that's smaller because we're going to have to measure. So, I thought I was ready. Maybe I should have taken that other 5 minutes to get ready. I want to put smaller clips on there. Like I said, because we do need to measure. Hi Maritza, how are you? How are you? So has FB been good to people today? I haven't really had a chance to. I did catch some of Sue's, and that's all I've seen today, because I've been running all my errands and all that kind of stuff, and then went over to my daughter's and played with my great-grandson a little bit, and my grandson was there, and my granddaughters. It's fun. It's fun all living here on the ranch together. And if there is anybody new, my name is Liz, and we do live on a ranch. We have 4 generations that live here. So, like I said, we have an abundance amount of, hi Jamie, thanks for coming on, of feed bags. So I hadn't even taken all of the stuff off of this feed bag yet. So inside of this particular feed bag, now not all of them are the same. Not every feed bag is built the same way. Some of them are like a vinyl material. Some of them are like paper, like this one that I'm going to use. And the paper one that I'm going to use has the outer paper, and it has another, I think it's 2 more sheets of paper behind it that we're going to use. So what I want to do is, because I love my horse, and I love this cowboy that comes on this feed bag. This is a red chain feed bag is what we use on the ranch. Not all of them have pictures of horses. Some of them have pictures of cows, because we do, they feed the cow this particular brand as well. But what I want to do is to get this guy onto this. See, we're going to cover this beautiful spine up anyways, unless I cut it and then just glue it on. And then I can leave that spine. And I'm thinking about doing that, because really I want to get this off of there and then put it onto it. So that's why I'm doing this together with you guys. So in case you ever want to know how to do a junk journal with a feed bag, you can. So what I'm going to do, because I'm also going to be using the papers from the feed bag to make the journal with. Thank you. I get my shirts, most of these shirts I get from Tractor Supply. I'm a good Tractor Supply girl. So since I have a straight line right here, I'm going to use my scissors. I'm going to cut across this straight line and try and see if we can get it as straight as possible. Because like I said, I'm going to use these papers to put in it. Hi Susan Vincent, how are you today? And Maritza. Anybody? Hi Debbie, how are you today? And Jamie, I think I said hi to you. It's like squirrel. No. And I love this chain that comes on the bag as well. I can't even cut a straight line if I wanted to. Oh, that's all right. We can trim it up. It's almost a little too thick to go through my cutter, or I would have put it through that. But since there's so many pages in here, I didn't want to do that. So we have this, and I'm definitely going to use it. And so I know that I need it to be about that wide. So I'm just going to go, for right now, I'm just going to cut off the top of this just to make it a little bit more manageable. And then we'll have a bunch of paper to use for our signatures. So I'm cutting that, and this part I can either, I'm going to be able to use the chain for ephemera. So I'll hang on to that. So right now I still have 6 pieces of paper still on this part of the bag alone. But like I said, I want to get this horse onto the cover. And let me move my cutter board out of the way because I'm not quite yet ready to use my cutter board. And I apologize for the noise the bag's making. I really would love to have it go around, but I do know that I want this. I want the spine to show, just because it is such a beautiful spine. It's not torn or anything. So I think it would be neat to see it. We're always covering them up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a pen and let's even make this more manageable. So all I'm going to do right at the moment is cut the outer layer of the bag. And we're going to use the inner layer for pages. But this way I can get a better handle on. And then, like I said, I'm going to use these pages in the book. But now we have like just a piece of paper. So it's a much easier to handle. And I'm just trying to place him. There's no way to get the whole guy, so we either have to lose part of the horse's legs or the cowboy's head. So I think I'm going to do that. So let me get now we can get this over. Hi Barb, how are you? Hi Tracy, how are you? Hi Carol. Hi Mary Ferguson, how are you today? So let me trim this down even more. And I am definitely going to use the chain as decoration for ephemera. And we'll see if we need to trim down a little bit more. So these books are really not that wide. So the book is not that wide. So I can trim a little bit more off of that. Boy, if I would have just did the whole page, that would be almost perfect. But, oh well. Like I said, I really want to be able to see, I want to be able to see that spine. And I'll do again on another ranch journal. I will, just wrap the whole book. So right now I'm just going to put this down and I'm just measuring up to this little edge right here of the spine. And I just want to make sure it's straight. And I do want to, I'm going to take off some of that red off the top. So let's do that because I want it to be a clean cut up there. And since I know it already has to be close to his head, it's possible, I can go ahead and just cut that off. And it's amazing how much paper you get from a feed bag. It's crazy to me. So I think I like that. So I think we can cut here. I'm just double checking. What do they say? Check it twice. Check it 3 times. Cut once, check it 3 times. So how is everybody's weekend? I'm good. I have a little bit of my hip is just a little bit sore, but that's just because I'm not really used to carrying, you know, the baby's only 4 months old, so he has to be carried everywhere. And he doesn't sit up on his own yet, so it does look to me like it's crooked, but I don't know. So all I'm going to do here is put this down, and I'm going to fold this so I know where to cut, because we have to make one more cut right there. And we're still in, we did get a little bit of rain yesterday, but not where I was. And I rinsed my car off twice, and then I picked up my sister-in-law, and I went and watched Downton Abbey at the mall, at the theater, and while I was there, I got an alert saying that it was raining, and I said, oh, it rained at the house, and I'm not at the house, because I was telling her, I was joking with her, saying that I wanted the good Lord to wash my car for me. And that is crooked up there. It looked like it was crooked to me. It's because it was. All right, so this is going to be the front of our journal, this cowboy here. And I'm just going to glue it on. So, looks like I'm having the same trouble that Miss Sue is having, and it's just saying that someone's watching. So, well, it shows that everybody's watching, and that's good. I'm glad you're watching. I'm not able to see any more comments though right now. I can see comments on my laptop, but they're pretty far behind, you know, because of that lag. But I don't know. I don't know what Mr. FB's doing. So I just want to make sure that I have enough of this glue on here. I probably should have put it on the actual book, but I didn't. And I'm just using my little bench scraper thingy, or my little paddle here, to spread it out so you don't feel all of that glue behind it. And we'll try and get it on straight. I wanted a little bit of give, so that's why I went with the fabric tack, because I could get a little bit of that sliding with it. So that's fun. And I kind of thought of just using the whole thing and just sewing it in, but then I had this empty book right here, so I thought I'll just do it on this instead. But you didn't necessarily have to. You could have had a soft bound cover, is what I'm saying, and you could have just used the bag alone. I'm just making sure that that goes all the way to the edge. And then I'm going to I'll probably add a little bit of lace around it. So we have the front of the book done. And this bag, it still has the wrinkles a little bit in it from, you know, because it had feed in it. So now we can use the back side, and we're going to do the same thing, kind of matching up this horse. Gonna be a long horse. And I'm just gonna match that up onto the other side, and then we'll have the back of it done too. But I think on this side, I might put the glue down and press it out and then trim around it. I think that might be the smarter deal to do. We'll see. So we're just going to go ahead and put the glue on this side of it. And this is not a very old book, because it was $4.99. You can usually tell whether or not it's a new book. Hi, Molly Artist. How are you, Molly? So I'm just making a journal out of a feed bag. And I'm just trying to kind of match up his back of the horse to the back of the horse, so it kind of matches. I think this is a saddle, so it looks like that would be his rump right there. And I'm just kind of sliding it around where it needs to be. And then we'll just trim. And this one actually has a little bit more, so we're probably going to have to add a little bit of lace onto this one, because the way the book wants to fold, the label or the spine does not go all the way over. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get that to lay flat. But we can add a little bit of lace. I think I won't even worry about it. I think we'll just go ahead and bring this back over, and then I'll just add a little lace to the spine. I'll just add a little bit of lace right here and right there, because see how you can see the blue from the spine? That's just because of the way it was taped on there. And it wasn't intended to fold this way. You know what I mean? It wasn't, you know, the book wasn't intended to fold. So we'll leave that there, and hopefully with some time and some extra glue, it'll stay. But who knows? Who knows? That's why they make glue, and that's why they make lace. And we can add some to it. I just want it to be able to bend like it's supposed to. And look, boy, that ink is coming off of this bag over my fingers. So, like I said, it doesn't want to lay down, and that's okay. Like I said, we can add, I can add a bunch of stuff I could add. So I think what I'm going to do is, I got this mat. I think we'll trim it with like an X-Acto and see if that works better than using scissors to trim it. So I'm just going to trim out this. They had this mat at Ollie's on sale for, I think it was Ollie's I got it from. And it was only like $1.99. So I got it. I got it because it has these rulers on it. Not that I'm using it to make anything straight though. Hi Terry Jo, how are you? So has anybody seen that Brigington, or not Brigington, I keep saying Brigington. That's because my grandson's name is Brigham. Downton Abbey movie. Like I said, my sister-in-law and I went and saw it last night. It was so good. If you watched any of this series, you have to watch the last movie. Because I don't know if they're going to make a series out of the last movie. They say they're not, but who knows what they're going to do, you know? You just never know. So I'll have to clean that because it's got a little bit of glue on it. So now we have our front and we have our back of our spine. And we have our reinforcement inside. And just gonna have to add glue where it needs to be added. It's not a big deal, just add more glue. I don't always get all the way to the edges because I'm always afraid that I'm gonna have overages of it. So it's okay. And I know that I'm a light gluer. You know, I don't always use a lot of glue. And I don't know why, but I don't. I'm trying to use more. So you guys have really great plans for this week? Have you? I know it's hard to have a conversation when we have such a time lapse on it. So we have our outside of it. Like I said, I probably will put some lace on the outside, but now we got to do the inside. And I kind of wanted to use this red horse chain on the inside. So let me cut this out, and I'm going to give myself a little bit more space this time. And we're going to see if we can do the whole inside with this red feed bag chain. So I am going to lose part of the top, and I am going to lose part of the bottom. And I just have to decide how much of the top or how much of the bottom do I want to lose. You know what I'm saying? How much do I want to lose? And I'm not going to wrap it around because I don't want this on the outside. So let's see if I can catch up to any comments over here on my phone, because it's still just saying Jamie's watching. And over here, I'm so far behind. Says Terry Joe says hi. Hi, Terry Joe. So let me get my ruler, my trusty ruler out, and let's measure this baby so we can cut it right. So it's 8, just barely under 8 inches. And then this side it is 13 and just a tad bit over 13 and 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths. So 13 and 5/8 long. So let's do that. So let's cut off. I'll see my measuring tape don't go that far, so that's not fun. 13 and 5/8. So it looks like I might be able to get both chain in, or at least one full chain. Well, maybe not. Oh, 13, yeah, 13 and 5/8. So I'm going to cut down part of this chain on that side. And then we're going to, let's do the 8, no, I can't even do the 8 inches because it's so wide. Okay, I'm going to fold it in half and we'll do our 8 inches. And I'm going to make it a little bigger because I want to see what I'm cutting. So let me cut it the right way. I do know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it crazy. But, like I said, I'm dyslexic. Sometimes I see things backwards and then I have to flip things over. So we want 8 inches. So we are going to lose a little bit of our R. So that's okay. I'm going to sneak off a little bit more on the top. And then I'm going to flip it one more time, and then we'll get our 8 inches. That way. So now we need 13. We still need to make one more cut. At 13 and 5/8. So I'm going to go this way. My ruler, this board only goes 12 inches. So my book is a little bigger than what the ruler is. So it looks like I can get it to there. And we'll just see whether or not that works or not. We shall see if we have to do any trimming. So that looks like it's going to fit. So that's cool. I like that. And after it gets folded, if I have to trim some, like I said, we are going to put a little bit of lace on it, so that'll be okay. So let me just make sure I have it going the right direction, and I do. And so now we're just going to glue it all down inside. Like I said, I had that covering it just so the spine would fit better. And you really could have left this intact and sewed the spine on it from there. I just chose, like I said, I chose to use the little golden book as my backing because it was empty anyways and it was just sitting there. So why not use it, right? I'm going to put a little bit on the spine. And where's my spreader here? So who's going to the retreat that we're going to be going to in West Virginia? I am so excited. My kids were asking me again about it today. My grandkids can't fathom the fact that I am going so far to meet everybody. It's not in their like brainwave, I guess. I don't know. They just can't. And I told them, I said, you know, I am going to visit my aunt that's 85 years old, you know, or turning 85. So it's not like, but they just can't believe that I'm going by myself out there. So this would be cute too to have as the outside of my book if I wanted to, but our book is actually going to go this way. So we do need to trim off a little bit up the top. I was a little bit higher than I thought, so I'm going to have to trim that, but that's not a big deal. And then we can get our pages together. And so I think I will trim that. I think I will go ahead and use that. I don't think the scissors is my choice, is what I'm saying. I think I'll use this again, since I have this mat. I'm just going up against the board and using the board, you know, the actual book as my guideline. And trying to stay straight. That corner just wants to be crooked. So I think we're good that way. So we'll let this sit over and dry and kind of do its thing. And it looks like I might need to put a little bit more glue there. I am wanting to just to make sure this goes down into the fold, so it will fold on our spine, and that looks good. So like I said, the only thing we're having a problem with is right here where they put the tape, the original tape on the spine, because it didn't quite go all the way to the fold. So we'll just add a little bit of lace or something cute right there to make that look better. I even have some rope. I have, you know, all kinds of stuff that I can, you know, maybe put on there. I have like this rope here that I might be able to put on it, and that would be pretty, you know, it'll look like a lasso rope or something. So I'm not worried about that little spot. I mean, I have some of my own red dirt lace that we can put on it. But let's see if we can find enough paper to put in it, because like I said, I wanted to use the the actual feed bag as well for being the paper for the book. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to use some of my dyed papers too. So let's see, our book is going to be how big? They say you don't have to measure in junk journaling, but I find myself measuring a lot. So this book, from the spine right there, from that spine to the edge, is exactly 6 inches. So I don't think we should have a page any bigger than 5.5 inches. Hi Lori, how are you? Hi Maritza, how are you? Hi Mitzi, how are you? It does, yeah. This little golden book was the little farm. I don't know, I covered it up now, but it was just the cover. There's no inside of the book. I used it in another journal that I made, a farm journal. I think I used the inside of this book when I was making my aunt's grandson the truck book, and I used those papers inside of it for that journal. So this book has no guts to it whatsoever. It was just a cover. So I just took it and I took the feed bag and I put it on the top, and then we used the back of the feed bag for the back. And now we're going to let that sit over there, and we're going to start making our pages. Now I know I said 5.5, but I need to make sure I don't have anything bigger than, it's 8 inches, but I think I would like to not go any bigger than 7.5 inches. So that'll give us room if we want to put anything on the top or whatever. So we need 7.5. And we have this white page in here too. So we have 7.5. And if we do 5.5, that'll be 11, right? So if I put 11 inches, I can fold it over. So we can even do this page as one of them. And this is going to be a true junk journal, I'm telling you. It's junk. It's a feed bag. So we got 11.5 inches. Someday I'm going to treat myself to the one of these boards that you don't have to flip everything around. So 11.5 will get us to where we want to be on a page. No, 11 inches, right? 5.5 and 5.5 is 11. I know how to add sometimes. Okay, so we have that. So we actually will probably get 2 pages out of this. So I'm just going to trim up this side because it is. What did I do? Was it this side that was 11 inches? I don't know. Somehow I got that way off. Luckily for me, I had 2 of them. So now we have this. We have to trim down this. So I want to trim this side of it to 7.5 or 7 3/4. And all of this trash stuff is not really trash until we're done with the journal, right? Because we can always use it as ephemera or pockets or belly bands. So we have page 1. Well, I need how many more? I was gifted this, and I do have some of these we're going to use in it. But these are a little bit bigger than what I need it to be taller, so everything's going to have to be cut down. But let's do all of the brown papers and all of that stuff first, and then we'll add some more. So out of this is the only part that's hard, and actually that might be fun to leave that on some of them, because then it would be like a cute little belly band. So let me see if I can just cut this off like here. Because out of this one bag, we should get a lot of papers. So I'm thinking I would like to leave that on there because that'll make nice little tuck spots. So I'm not going to add that as inches. But we need 11 inches. And once again, I have to go this way. Crazy. Think my brain will ever get used to it? No. So we need 11 inches this way. And we need 7.5 inches this way. And I'm going to trim both sides because it's not a very straight cut. So has anybody else just taken pretty much just leftover trash? I mean, you think about it, this feed bag would just gone in the burn pile. So now I'm making a journal out of it. And now we have 2 more pages, or how many pages we have? We have, this one is actually sewed together, so we might have to cut that off and not have that. I didn't realize that the company had put glue down there. So we might not be able to have that feed, but we still can do it. Somehow they glued this bag together. Where I wanted to put it, they actually had glued it together. So, oh well, we can use this as a nice belly band. So now we have 2 more pages for our book. So we only need like 17 more. No. Hi Jill, how are you? What are you doing today? You have had a doozy of a time, huh? You know what a burn pile is. She was out there doing the burn pile. Yeah, when we lived in California, we didn't have burn piles. Can we do this one too? I bet you we can. We can get something out of it. I just need to straighten it up. So I'm just going to use almost every part of this feed bag I can possibly use to make this journal with. And I think it's going to be adorable. And like I said, I'm going to incorporate some of the 1800s into it. And I just have to get them printed out. We want 5 1/4. I'm just going to trim this up just a little bit right here because it was a little bit out. So now we have another page for it. Yeah, it was a burn barrel. We have an incinerator. It's not. It's seen its better day, but we do have it. So this is some more bags from another feed bag I had. Slightly a different color, so I thought we would use that. And I am going to see where they glued it because I saw that they glued that last one. Let me move it away from the this one's not glued together. So this one we should be able to do our little, I really wanted to do that. So let me see if I can trim this off real quick. Just so I can open it up. And then we need 11 inches. Gotta go this way with it, right? So has anybody got anything planned fun for this week? Is anybody's fairs around? And we can actually use this as a bag or as a page. So I left this little fold that came naturally on it because I want to use it as a tuck spot. So now we have to trim this down this way and get it straight going this direction. So I am going to make 2 new cuts on it just so we have, you know, kind of a straight line. Hi Carol. Yes, it's going to have like the 1800s vibe in the farm journals because, you know, back in the 1800s, they lived on farms and ranches, you know. So I thought, I'm just going to combine the two together. So we're just going to fold that in half. And I think it'll be so fun. I've been looking at like the 1800 ladies, you know, and all of their big old gowns that they wore and stuff like that. And I'm going to print some of those off and add them in here, and then and even though they're not perfectly the size, that's okay. It's a junk journal. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages already. And then we're going to make this one a page. So we need 8 inches. So I'm going to give us a fresh cut on that side and a fresh cut on this side. And I just think it's going to be so fun that really the only, and then we need 5.5 inches this way to have a book that's made from papers that came from a feed bag. So far we've gotten all of these pages, and we haven't even gone through any pages yet that are purchased, you know what I mean? It's like every single one of them so far has been recycled paper. That's what I should say, recycled, right? And I apologize if it's too noisy. So we need 5.5. We're going to do that, and then we'll straighten out the edges. But while I have it right here, I am going to do 11 inches on this one, because that'll give us 2 more pages. And so now we need to make this 8 or 7 3/4. I'm going to give myself a clean cut on both sides. I know that Jill likes to do journals using recycled stuff because she makes them from old magazines and old papers. I think it's going to be fun. I really do. I think it's going to be awesome to decorate and just to make all these pages. We probably, you know, we only have 15 more minutes, so we'll sew it all in on Friday, because there's no way I'm going to be able to get enough pages. I think we'll do 2 signatures in it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is almost 1 signature if we added a couple of other pages in with it, which I do have. I have some pages that I've gotten from the Crafty Brother that we're going to put in here. And I have some pages from Lisa's page, you know, that I'm going to add in and stuff. So, but right now I'm just trying to make, you know, all of the pages I can from the actual feed bag. So this one's got that scallop on the bottom, and I'm wondering if we should just fold this up to 7.5. And that would make a cute little pocket already in there, like a little belly band, you know. And we'll just fold that like that. And we'll see. And it's 5.5 inches. It's a perfect size bag. It's a little crooked on the top, so let's just give it a little haircut up on the top, just because somehow I didn't get it cut very well. And look at this page. It has like a little pocket built in on both sides already, and we'll just add that to our stack. It's a little bit shorter, but I don't care. It doesn't have to be the same size. We're going to put in, you know, some of our doilies that I did, you know, with the red dirt. So we'll have, you know, that in there. And I have other doilies, and I have some of this. I have our cute art drugstore has the cutest old-fashioned bags from like the 1800s or early 1900s, and so I'm going to put a couple of those in there. So we're just, I still have plenty of, I haven't even touched all of the feed bag. That's what's crazy, is I haven't even touched it all yet. So let's just keep making papers. Hi, Lisa. Yes, Lisa and I are going to have a chat because I'm going to say, Lisa, I need some 1800s ladies. Preferably on some wagons. And she's so good about, I need 11 inches. I got sidetracked here. I saw Lisa on there and I got sidetracked. But she's so good about making pages for all of this. So let's go ahead and cut this down, and we'll have 4 more pages. And like I said, we haven't even used up half of that feed bag yet. So now I just need to get myself cut this way. And like I said, I really want to give myself a clean edge on both sides. And it's not necessary because, like I said, it is a junk journal, so it could be crooked. It doesn't necessarily have to be totally straight. But this paper that they use for the feed bags, it's pretty good paper. I mean, it's almost like the paper that you get from a grocery bag, because it does have to hold, 50 pounds worth of feed. 50 pounds of feed is pretty heavy. Believe me, I carry it. So we're just folding those. And I can't wait to see, I can't wait to just decorate this page, to actually do all the decorations on it. It's gonna be so fun. So now we have 2 more pages. Just making sure they're not, see, like this one was glued a little bit together, but I think it'll be okay. So we just need to clean up the edges. And this might turn out to be one of my favorite journals. You never know. I mean, I've made some that I've really loved. And as long as you guys like them, that's all that really matters, kind of deal. You always want to be kind of proud of your work. Everybody that I watch make journals, make the best journals ever. And it's just neat to watch everybody make them. You get such great ideas, from each other. And we all learn from each other. I probably definitely learn more watching you guys than you guys ever learn from me. So now we have all of these pages still, and I still haven't even touched the side of the bag. So we still have a whole bunch of bag to still cut up. So we have 10 minutes to cut up some more bag. And let's see, I do want to put in, so this is the other bag that we use on the ranch. And I love this blue on it. So I think I want to try and use some of this bag in it. And so I think I'm just going to fold that over and see if I can get it to cut all the way through. Let's see if this cutter here will make it work, huh? We'll just see. We'll see, we'll see. But isn't that blue beautiful? I mean, this is just trash. It was a feed bag. And I do sell them. If anybody wants a feed bag, they're $5. The problem is they cost me $5 to ship them to you. That's the problem. It costs $5 to ship this $5 feed bag if you want it. But if anybody is going to Jimmy Lou's retreat, and I'm going to save this because we're going to make a pocket out of that. But if anybody's going to the retreat, I don't mind putting feed bags in my trunk and then, getting them to you. So this one's going to make us, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 pages in here that we're cutting at once, so woohoo! I was hoping to be able to get this whole thing, but we're not going to be able to get the whole thing. I was really hoping. So let's see if I can. Why do they have to make it so big? These people, don't they realize that we want to recycle their pages? No. The guy who did the printing on this, didn't he know that I was going to recycle this? No. So we're gonna lose some of that in. We're gonna really lose some of that in for sure. But oh well, we tried. But we can use that. So now we need to get 7 3/4, so that's good. And I do have some other feed bags over there I could use. If you go out, oh, they must be talking about somebody else. Am I buffering for people? Ugh. So we're gonna go ahead and just fold this anyways, and that'll be a cute page. Is that 5.5? Yeah, see, it's a little bit big anyway, so we're gonna have to trim it anyway. Well, that's all right. No big deal. It's no big deal. But somehow this side of the page did not get cut very well. So we're just trimming that up. So there's a page, and then here's another page. And I'm just gonna trim up the bottom on that one. And I just love, like, even right here, this is where the feed sat inside of this bag. So this is the most inner layer of the bag. And I love it because it gives the texture, it gives this bag something, you know, it just makes it tell a story in a way, you know. It even has a little bit, not too bad, not as bad as I thought the feed would be. But we're just gonna trim off this edge here. But it'll be great background. It's already did the background for me, you know, pretty much. So out of I'm gonna say one feed bag because I still have half of a feed bag, even though I'm using another feed bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And we haven't even, I mean, I still have all of this feed bag left. So it's amazing to me how much we're gonna get out of this one feed bag. So I'm gonna go right here. And I'm not gonna worry about that because we're gonna make it a pretty little band anyways, right? I'm just trying to make sure that none of these have been glued together. And then I even love this where it was sewed together. So I'm gonna leave that on the bag on one of the edges. So this is 11 inches, so we're gonna fold it this way. So now I need to make this 8 inches. So let's trim off this side if we can. And we're gonna just trim off that. And we'll keep that for right now. Like I said, we'll make pockets or belly bands with it. But look how cool this is where it was sewn together. And we're just gonna fold this up. And we have this really neat page for our journal. And all of the layers have that same sewed edge on it. So now we have 3 pages with that beautiful scallop already in there. So, and I didn't spend, to be truthful with you, I didn't spend a dime. Well, that's not true. I did buy this food. This is my horse's food, so I guess I did spend money on the feed bag. But, you know, a lot of the times I'm using the cattle bags, you know, from the cattle. Are you talking about your doggie? She's answering the dogs. So we have 2 more pages, and I think we have enough time to go ahead and cut up the rest of this one. Like I said, I love this already folded part, so I think I'm going to trim this one a little bit different. And we will try and use this accordion that's in there as a pull out and decorate it like that. So I'm just going to flip it over so I have that in there. Like I said, my cutter cuts our measures from the other side. So I'm going to do that. So there's our 11. So now we're going to flip it this way. And I'll go 7. Like I said, as long as we don't go over 8 inches, we're good. I'm trying to keep it a little like 7 3/4. So now when I fold this one, on one of our pages inside, we'll be able to have this little flip out, and I think that's so cool. So I don't know why I think it's so cool, but I think it's so cool. Now let's see if this is 5.5 inch, and it's a little shorter, but you know what? I think I'm gonna live with that. And I think we can use this. I don't know. I was thinking I could use that in the book, you know, over, but I'm thinking about when I sew it. So what's that going to be? That's almost 5 inches, so we could do it. We could do that. It's just going to be a little shorter page. We'll do that. And then when I sew it, I just have to be mindful to keep this flat on one side or the other, you know. It's just a matter of being mindful to where, you know, where it's being cut at. But this is just going to be an amazing journal if we get it put together. So I think I'm running out of time. I'm just going to show you the cover that we made from, I just took the front of the feed bag and I put it on a golden book that I don't have the pages for. It was an empty shell. I used the pages for this book in another journal. But the spine was so beautiful on this golden, I wanted it to show. So I reinforced the inside of the spine, if you didn't see, and then we covered it with one of the sides of the feed bag, and then this is our front, and then this is our back. So on Friday, we'll finish putting the pages together, and then we'll sew it in, and then we'll start decorating it. So I think, oh, it is very good quality paper. I mean, if we had to pay for this paper, it would be, I mean, it's thick paper, you know, it's good paper. So I'm just going to keep making a couple of more, and we'll be ready to sew them in on Friday. So I just want to thank, and I still have this white one I'm going to put in there, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more pages to add to that, and then we'll get some other fun, colorful stuff to put in there too. So I have some of my own dyed, red dirt dyed papers that I'm going to add in between. So we'll be adding all of this good stuff in there. But it's going to be so fun to decorate this old-fashioned book. So I'm excited about it. I will be back on Thursday night. The Three Amigos are... we're back up to something special, so I'll be on at 5 o'clock Central Time. It'll be kind of, if Jimmy Lou puts it out, it'll say it's 6 o'clock Eastern, but I do everything Central Time. So I'll be on at 5 o'clock Thursday night, and we're going to do something so super cool. You guys have to watch it, but Jimmy Lou's going to do it, and Hanging with Mama Hall's going to do one, and I'm going to do one, and we're not, I don't know if Jimmy Lou's going to spill the beans or not, but we're not. So I hope to see you guys all on Thursday afternoon. Have a great week. I'll see you on everybody else's pages. Thank you for crafting with Nani. Bye-bye.